Aside from being the week of agentic browsers, apparently, there was actually a ton of AI news this week. So, yeah, OpenAI released their agentic browser Atlas, and Microsoft went full AI mode with Copilot and agentic features in their Edge browser. But we also saw Meta reportedly axe 600 AI jobs. Another major AI lab is now trying to compete with AI music platform Suno, and Microsoft released like a bajillion small AI features that are actually pretty useful and brought back Clippy. So if you miss any of this, don't worry. On Mondays, we bring you the AI news that matters, and this is your one stop shop to get caught up and actually understand what all of these AI updates mean and how you can actually put them to work for you. All right, let's get into it. Welcome to Everyday AI. My name is Jordan Wilson, and if you're new here, Everyday AI is a daily live stream, podcast, and free daily newsletter helping everyday business leaders like you and me not just keep up, but actually get ahead. How we can make sense of all of these AI news, tools, and announcements to grow our companies and our careers. So if that's what you're trying to do, awesome. Me too. Starts here with the daily live stream and podcast. But if you want to take it to the next level, make sure to go to our website, youreverydayai.com. Go sign up for the free daily newsletter. Each day, we recap the highlights from that day's podcast, as well as all of the other AI news written by humans for humans that you need to know. So make sure you go check that out. But on Mondays, we bring you the AI news that matters. That's what today's show is all about. So you don't have to spend hours every single day toiling over what the heck does this new AI feature mean. We cut through the nonsense and give it to you straight. All right, let's get straight into it with the biggest piece of AI news of the week, and that is OpenAI went technically agentic in the browser. So, OpenAI has unveiled their Atlas browser, a new agentic browser designed to integrate AI directly into everyday digital workflows and mainly bringing your ChatGPT history into a browser. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, OpenAI's new Atlas browser is available right now for Mac users with broader support for Windows and mobile users expected soon. And you don't even need a paid account. It is available to any free users as well, although you do have to have a paid account to use the agent mode. So more of the agentic features, yeah, you got to have a paid account. So Atlas does stand out by offering those agentic features, allowing AI agents to understand, remember, and act across multiple browser tabs, reducing manual copy, paste, and context switching. So the browser features a ChatGPT powered sidebar called Ask GPT. Ask ChatGPT for instant web page summaries, contextual Q&A, and direct handoffs between browser and chatbots environments. So anything that you are kind of chatting with, so whether you're trying to summarize a page in the Atlas browser or anything else, when you go into your ChatGPT account, it will be available there. Also, what's the most important thing that I think a lot of people are still overlooking, right? Because everyone's like, okay, what's the big deal? Another agentic browser. Well, the big deal here is it's ChatGPT. So when you are, as an example, if you're in Atlas browser and you're looking up the latest, I don't know, quarterly report for one of your competitors, and you're chatting with ChatGPT on the side, it knows everything you've been working on and can bring that context over, which is why this is a pretty big, I'll say, a paradigm shift into what agentic browsers can do when they pair up with your, in this case, ChatGPT history. This is pretty big. There's also some other smaller features, but it has a cursor collaborator. So essentially, anywhere where you type, there's a little knob, they call it, where you can bring up ChatGPT. So you don't even have to click any other buttons. If you're highlighting any text, whether it's in an email, a Google Doc, wherever you're typing, you can always access ChatGPT there. So live stream audience, have you checked out Atlas yet? we actually did a show dedicated to just Atlas, episode 637, as well as the following day, 638. We did essentially ChatGPT's Atlas versus Perplexity's Comet browser. So yeah, obviously huge week and kind of technically month for agentic browsers, because earlier in this month, Perplexity made their Comet browser free for all users, whereas previously it was only available for paid users. So yeah, we're going to talk about Microsoft, their agentic features in Edge. Technically, Google snuck some more AI features into their Chrome browser. So it was legit the week of agentic browsers. But the big one, undoubtedly, was OpenAI's Atlas browser launch. It is, I'm not underestimating this. Like everyone's been talking, oh, 2025 is the year of the agents. I've been saying, no, it's not. It is the year of the agentic browsers, much more useful. So aside from Atlas being able to bring in your ChatGPT data and context, which is enormous, well, the other big part of agentic browsers, is you can talk in natural language to any website, but also the ability to run kind of some processes in a hybrid environment. So, right, having the AI baked in to a browser just makes everything so much faster. All right. Next piece of AI news, Google and Anthropic. You might think of them as competitors, but unless you follow the financials of these deals, you probably don't know. They're actually technically partners, and their partnership has now been deepened even more. That's because Anthropic has signed a massive cloud partnership deal with Google, giving Anthropic access to up to 1 million of Google's custom TPUs, or tensor processing units, kind of Google's version of NVIDIA's GPUs, right? In a deal that is reportedly valued at tens of billions of dollars. And this is obviously Anthropic's largest TPU commitment to date, and is expected to bring over a gigawatt of AI compute capacity online by next year. So Anthropic's new agreement with Google is set to deliver, like I said, more than a gigawatt of AI computing power, with industry estimates putting the build-out cost of such a data center at around $50 billion. So Anthropic's Claude AI models run across Google's TPUs, also Amazon's Trainium chips, and also NVIDIA's GPUs, allowing Anthropic to optimize for price, performance, and power across different platforms. So who knows? Maybe now people with a paid Anthropic account will be able to run, I don't know, more than like 5 prompts without being rate limited. So Anthropic's annual revenue run rate is now approaching $7 billion, according to reports, with Claude powering over 300,000 businesses. So Claude Code, Anthropic's agentic coding assistant, generated $500 million in annualized revenue so far within 2 months of launch, which the company claims is a record for product growth. So Google has also deepened its investment in Anthropic, adding $1 billion in January to its previous $2 billion, and maintaining a reported 10% equity stake in Anthropic. So yeah, that's important here. This isn't really very much like some of the circular funding deals, the vendor financing that we've been talking about, a little different, but still, I mean, a lot of people overlook that Google has a 10% stake in Anthropic, which is technically one of its biggest competitors, right? Everyone's been using the Claude, especially the Claude 4.5 models for coding, and some of the 4 models as well. And well, Claude has actually lost a lot of ground recently in that department to GPT-5 Codex version, and also to the latest Gemini 2.5. So interesting play here from Google, signing an enormous kind of deal with technically one of their competitors, but they also have an equity stake in them. Speaking of Google, bringing more good vibes. So Google essentially revealed a complete rebuild of its new vibe coding section in AI Studio, making it easier and faster for anyone to build and deploy web apps powered by Gemini without knowing how to code. So the new build tab, so if you go to Google's AI Studio, The new Build tab lets users create AI-powered web apps in minutes with no upfront payment or coding skills needed. Also, Gemini 2.5 Pro is the default AI engine, but users can mix and match features like their extremely viral Nano Banana, their AI image generator, Veo, their video platform, and Imagine, their image generation, as well as Google search. The editor now offers a split view. So if you've, I don't know, used like GPT Builder inside of ChatGPT, this should seem very familiar. So you can chat with the AI for help on the left, and you can see or edit the full source code on the right. There's also, in very Google nostalgic fashion, new I'm feeling lucky button that generates random app ideas and setups, helping users discover unique concepts and features with a single click, as well as a ton of essentially starter templates where, yeah, even if you don't know what do I want to build, you can just go essentially copy one of these starter templates and then in natural language, build and modify them. Should we be doing more of this, right? We've done some Google AI Studio. We haven't touched a ton on the build section. We actually had Paige Bailey from Google on a couple of weeks ago. And y'all, if you didn't watch that episode, I talked to Paige afterwards. I'm like, this was so good. We got to get you on again. But make sure you go check that out. We briefly did go over went over the build section. So go listen to episode 619 in like 5 minutes. Paige showed even non-technical people how to build apps inside of AI Studio. All right. Is OpenAI getting super meta? Well, according to the information, OpenAI is. According to reports, OpenAI is rapidly exploring personalized advertising, a shift reportedly fueled by the growing influence of hundreds of former Meta employees now working inside of OpenAI. So the information reports that about 630 of OpenAI's 3,000 staffers are Meta veterans, including some top leadership who previously drove advertising strategy at Facebook. So the influx of Meta alumni has accelerated OpenAI's move toward ad-based monetization. So OpenAI is reportedly considering using ChatGPT's new memory feature to deliver highly personalized ads based on details from users' conversations, such as location and interests. So obviously, this has already been reported on the Meta side that Meta is going to start doing this in December. So if you've been chatting with Meta starting in December, those are going to be used for highly personalized ads inside of the Meta platform. So the memory feature inside ChatGPT was recently rolled out to all free users because it was previously only open to paid users, kind of laying the groundwork for potential product recommendations and sponsored content within chats. And what's funny, though, is if you go back in the time machine, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman had been against this originally. But despite resistance from Altman, internal momentum, reportedly driven by these Meta veterans, are kind of bringing back up this personalized ads and reportedly could be coming sooner than a lot of people expected. However, employees have expressed concern that OpenAI is shifting too far toward a big tech ad model, with surveys asking if the company is becoming too much like Meta. Engagement and daily usage metrics are increasingly prioritized, supporting a future where ads could drive user interaction and revenue. So this is happening. This is happening. I've been saying this for a very long time. And when I saw the new Pulse feature, which to me has been kind of hit or miss, I like when Pulse came out, I said, yeah, OpenAI is doing this because this is how they're going to be delivering very personalized ads. And right now that feature is only available to those on the $200 a month Pro plan, but they will be rolling that out to millions of paid users, I would assume fairly shortly. But between that and the new Atlas browser, yeah, obviously, OpenAI is going to be making a ridiculous amount of money pretty soon from highly personalized ads. It's going to happen, right? Yes, the reporting is now officially on the wall. And according to the information report, at least, being driven by Meta insiders inside OpenAI. All right. Next, if you missed this one, Microsoft unveiled like so many new AI updates. So Microsoft at their fall event rolled out a major update to Copilot really across the board, introducing a wide variety of features aimed at enhancing productivity, collaboration, and personalization. So we did an entire show on this on Friday, I believe. Yeah, it was Friday, episode 639. So if you want to know more, make sure to go check that out. But some of the bigger ones I will go over. So the new agentic browsing features in Microsoft Edge were probably the highlight. So now you have multi-step web actions like booking and unsubscribing, hands-free voice commands within Microsoft Edge, and tab reasoning to analyze and compare content across multiple tabs. And now, obviously, Edge via Copilot here can autonomously complete actions on your web page. So whatever you're browsing, you can kind of hand it off to an agent now for Copilot to take command. Here's the other big one that I think could be actually pretty cool and could get Microsoft a little momentum back. So they introduced group AI chats, allowing up to 32 participants to collaborate in a single session with Copilot, with everything from normal Copilot chatting to real-time thread summarization, polls, and automatic task splitting. The company also introduced Miko, an animated avatar, yay, that also revives Clippy, sorry, if you click it enough. There's a new real talk mode that's designed to get away from overly agreeable responses that have plagued large language models for years. Microsoft Copilot also rolled out online their new integration connectors to Gmail, Google Drive, Google Calendar, Outlook, and OneDrive. There's also the new Copilot Journeys, which automatically organizes your past chats, action, and browser history in Copilot into topic-based groups. So it essentially summarizes, if you're working on, a certain work project or travel across multiple chats, multiple browsing sessions, it essentially puts it all into one and kind of tells you where you left off. And then last but not least, well, there's actually a ton more, but the last one we're going to talk about today is the new Windows 11 integration that brings a Hey Copilot wake word for voice-activated AI assistants across apps. That one could be cool, as well as the dedicated Copilot home screen. So kind of a way to bring Mary Copilot plus all the most recent files that you've worked on in a home screen. So yeah, between that and the Hey Copilot, we could be getting the actual smart version of Siri or Alexa before we get an actual smart version of Siri or Alexa. All right, more ChatGPT news. So OpenAI has unveiled a major new feature called Company Knowledge for paid teams across the ChatGPT Business, Enterprise, and EDU. So the latest updates allows ChatGPT to pull information directly from workplace apps like Slack, Google Drive, Gmail, GitHub, SharePoint, HubSpot, and others, making it easier for employees to find company-specific answers without switching between tools. But two things here. One, the feature must be turned on for each new conversation, which is a little bit of a bummer, but not a deal breaker for me. Just means, if you had a great chat going and you want this new feature, got to start over. Also, it temporarily disables web browsing and visual output generation. That's an important thing as well, which is actually good. You might think, oh, disables web browsing. That's bad. Well, no, in this case, it's good to ground it through your data. And this feature is powered by a reported new version of GPT-5, trained to search across multiple sources to give more accurate and comprehensive responses. So essentially, employees can now ask ChatGPT for project details, feedback summaries, or performance reports and receive answers with direct links and citations from internal company systems. Company Knowledge also respects, according to OpenAI, existing app permissions and only accesses data users are authorized to see. That's always a concern, right? Someone's like, oh, like, why would I connect my, SharePoint if there's information out there that some employees don't have access to? Well, it reportedly acknowledges and adheres to those permissions. It also supports enterprise grade security, such as encryption, SSO, SCIM, and IP allow listing. So OpenAI recommends a phased rollout for enterprises. And what does this actually mean? Well, for employees and teams, faster, more reliable access to company data. All right. So I've tested this out a little bit. Very, very similar. It appears early on. I still need to do a little bit more testing personally, but it seems kind of like the Gemini Enterprise and Gemini Business, or at least the grounded portion of it. So yeah, let me know, y'all. Like, are you on individual plans? Are you on ChatGPT Business Plan, which used to be ChatGPT Teams? Are you on ChatGPT Enterprise? I'm curious what people are on. So live stream audience, let me know. Podcast, if you're listening on Spotify, you can leave a comment. I'm always curious. I assume people are always on like a ChatGPT Business Plan, but a lot of times I'm always shocked, right? Even at larger organizations where they're like, yes, let's start using AI more. They still don't have like a ChatGPT Business Plan, right? You just have a couple individuals who just have an individual paid plan. But y'all, if you are a decision maker at a large enterprise company, I've been saying this literally for years. You need to have an AI operating system, right? You need to start bringing all of your processes in either Gemini Enterprise, Gemini Business, ChatGPT Business, ChatGPT Enterprise, Claude's Enterprise Plan, or Microsoft 365. You have to start bringing your processes in. All right. It's not really an option anymore, especially with all of these new features like the company knowledge feature. All right. 600 plus jobs are now reportedly gone at Meta, the same company spending billions of dollars for like individual researchers. So, according to an Axios report, Meta is cutting about 600 jobs from its superintelligence lab, impacting long-standing AI groups like Fair AI Research, product-related AI, and infrastructure units. So the company's leadership believes these AI teams had become bogged down by bureaucracy, slowing decision-making and process. So Meta's newly formed TBD Labs is spared from the cuts, according to Axios, and is still actively hiring, signaling a shift in focus toward fresh approaches and breakthrough research. So U.S. employees affected by the layoffs were notified on Wednesday, with Meta encouraging them to apply for other roles within the company. So the AI chief, Alexander Wang, former CEO of Scale AI, which Meta acqui-hired, said the reorganization will give remaining team members more responsibility and impact, aiming for a leaner, faster operation. So CEO Mark Zuckerberg pushed for this overhaul after growing dissatisfied with the results of Meta's previous AI efforts, seeking improved performance and innovation. Well, let's see what happens here, y'all. I'm just going to say this. Meta's Llama 4 was obviously underwhelming. There was some benchmark controversy when it first came out, one of the variations. Allegedly they had fitted one of the models specifically to score well on the LM arena and faced a little bit of controversy there. But I mean, here's the reality. More than 15 billion. So, Meta had their $14 billion plus acquisition of Scale AI. They've reportedly spent more than $1 billion on multiple individual researchers, right? Over the course of, like a 4 or 6 year term, right? I mean, we are literally talking, Meta is investing hundreds of millions of dollars in annual salaries for multiple individuals, right? According to reports. So maybe this is, who knows? Maybe this will work. I'm not buying it. I'm not seeing it personally, right? And maybe that's just because Llama 4 was so underwhelming, right? And then OpenAI responded not too long after with their open source model, GPT OSS, which from if you read a lot of reports, it seems like GPT OSS was actually better than some of Llama's base models. So not a good look when OpenAI comes out with their first open source model and it performs better than a lot of Meta's Llama 4 variants when it's, Llama 4 the Llama models have seen many, many updates, right? They've seen a ton of forks. NVIDIA had a nice fine tune. I think that was Llama 3. So not a good look, right? Not a good look from Llama with their Llama 4. And now they're just spending billions of dollars, but at the same time, cutting hundreds of people. So, I mean, the expectations are very high from whatever Llama ships next. We've also seen reports that they may go closed source, they may keep going open source, but regardless, there is a ton of pressure on Alexander Wang and the new TBD lab within Meta to deliver results. All right. Speaking of delivering results, if you're not really happy with what Copilot is accomplishing in your Outlook email, well, maybe there's good news on the horizon. That's because, according to reports from The Verge, Microsoft is preparing a major transformation of its Outlook email client, aiming to essentially rebuild it from the ground up. So Microsoft has reorganized its Outlook team under new leadership, and an internal memo reveals Microsoft's plan to rebuild Outlook from scratch, focusing on AI rather than simply sprinkling AI on the top of an existing platform. So the rebuild is described as the future Outlook as a quote unquote body double that will help users tackle work, making tasks feel less overwhelming by acting as a true partner, not just a set of tools. So Copilot, Microsoft's AI assistant, will obviously play a central role in this transformation, turning Outlook into a proactive partner that reads messages, drafts replies, which is new, and organizes schedules automatically. So there's kind of some reported new features that might separate the future version of Outlook versus what's available now when you combine Copilot plus Outlook. Well, essentially is it will read your emails, prioritize what's important, draft replies, and also organize your schedule automatically according to what's going on in your Outlook's inbox. So the Outlook team is shifting to rapid development with weekly feature experiments and prototyping cycles measured in days instead of months. So this overhaul will reportedly embed AI into every stage of Outlook's design, development, and rollout for both consumers and businesses. Is OpenAI going after Suno? Well, according to a recent report in the information, the answer is yes. So, OpenAI is reportedly building a new AI powered music generation tool that creates music from just text and audio prompts. So, the tool aims to allow users to add custom music to videos or generate instrumental tracks, such as guitar accompaniment for vocals. So, according to reports, OpenAI is collaborating with Juilliard School students. That's a shocking one there to annotate musical scores, providing high quality training data for the model. So, what people don't really know is OpenAI was actually one of the first platforms to have an AI music platform. It was called Jukebox, and it was available way back when, and no one really used it, and most people don't even know. But it remains unclear whether this new tool from OpenAI will be a standalone product or just integrated into existing OpenAI apps like ChatGPT or the video app Sora. So it should be a fun kind of battle to watch because aside from Suno, I mean, you have Udio, but it's not a super crowded space, right? I think Udio and Suno, in terms of like AI music generation, it's kind of just them running away with it. And one thing I was actually taken aback by was how good music quality was in Sora 2. Um, way better than any of the other AI video platforms, right? You can look now at like VO 3.1 from Google and say, okay, they've kind of taken the lead back from Sora 2. But one thing Sora 2 is ridiculously good in is creating actual like music that's really good, which a lot of people like were like, wait, how is this actually making music as well? We thought it was just a video platform. So maybe they've already started to sneak elements of this new music tool in Sora 2. Maybe it'll just be an under the hood upgrade, or it could be a complete standalone platform. Whatever the case is, we will obviously be covering it to let you know. All right, we got to go fast on this one, y'all. That's it for the big stories. But we had, if I'm being honest, in the last year or so, this has been the most little news stories at the end that we've had. So we have our kind of what's next and what's new section. So these are maybe some noteworthy happenings that didn't quite make our top news roundup for the week. Some of these are new features that were released. Some of these are rumors, but this is the most we've ever had. So I'm going to try to go very, very fast here. All right, ready? Here we go. OpenAI made ChatGPT projects shareable even outside of your business or enterprise plan, which, by the way, is huge. We'll probably talk about that more later. Anthropic released Claude Code for web. Google released Google Skills with 3,000 courses, many of them focused on AI. A new report says that GM is putting Google Gemini in their future cars. Mistral released an agent building platform 2 weeks after OpenAI, calling theirs AI Studio. Notebook LM may be releasing a data tables feature. And I do know they are releasing a deep research integration. XAI is rolling out a Grokpedia feature inside Grok on the web. Claude may be rolling out a version of company knowledge that OpenAI just debuted. Anthropic made Claude Desktop generally available this past week. Claude also rolled out an update specifically for life sciences. Adobe released its AI Foundry, which lets companies train custom models on their IP. SoftBank, this one's hot off the presses, reportedly just approved an additional $22.5 billion investment in OpenAI, bringing its total commitment up to $30 billion. This was part of an earlier announcement from earlier this year, but apparently the next $22.5 billion kind of branch just came in. There's more, y'all. Here we go. The AI browser Dia debuted a prompt to skill feature for agentic browsing. Google Gemini is gearing up for a visual layout, its version of ChatGPT Pulse, which looked really cool, by the way. We shared that in our newsletter last week. Perplexity is being sued by Reddit over AI training data. Quen rolled out a deep research upgrade, which looks pretty useful, with a live web page and podcast accompanying it. OpenAI may be demoing a version of GPT 5.1 mini. Seen reports go both ways on that, so we'll see if that ends up being true or not. Reportedly, that was for the internal knowledge. Sora 2 has released some new features for cameos, including pets and toys. Also, they recently extended 15-second generations for all users and 25-second generations for plus users. OpenAI acquired Software Applications Inc., a popular Mac OS dev team. So yeah, I would just say be prepared, whether this is for the browser or for their Mac app. Things are going to get better on the Mac for ChatGPT. Anthropic rolled out memory to paid users. Microsoft unveiled Dynamics 365 agents. Google unveiled an updated Earth AI, which looks absolutely bonkers. Amazon is rolling out last 100 yards AI glasses for drivers to help with deliveries. And in an interview, oh gosh, we can finally stop working, y'all. In an interview, Bill Gates recently said AI could lead to a 2-day work week. All right. It's great when bajillionaires tell us we can stop working. Whew. We're in the clear, y'all. That was it. That was a lot. All right. So I hope this was helpful. Remember, we do this every single Monday, bringing you the AI news stories that matter. We cut the BS, cut the marketing, cut the spin, and I just cut it to you straight. So I hope this is helpful. If so, Don't be a jerk. Repost this, share this with your network. That's the only way we can keep this going is when you tell someone about it. Don't just keep everyday AI as your dirty little AI secret on how you get so smart. All right. If you are listening on the podcast, we appreciate it if you could subscribe to the show, leave us a rating. Takes you like 30 seconds, but it makes us feel all warm and fuzzy. And then please go to youreverydayai.com. There's a little box there. You just put in your email and bam, all of a sudden you're smarter every single day in 7 minutes. You're gonna know everything. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in today. Hope to see you back tomorrow and every day for more everyday AI.